K Sports Sunday. I'm Logan Hughes. Now it's time to talk about the Boston Red Sox. 7 wins in a row erased that 0 in 6 start. But last night, that streak came to an end. Thankfully, so did these use of these old-time uniforms. Check this out. In celebration of the first time the Red Sox and the Cubs played since the 1918 World Series, both teams were in throwback uniforms, and the Red Sox played like they were in the dark ages. Here's Sam Perozzi with the Red Sox Blog.
Hello everyone, I'm Sam Perozzi, and this is the Red Sox Sports Blog for the first weekend of interleague play. The Chicago Cubs are in Boston for the first time since the 1918 World Series, which the Red Sox won 4-2. With Game 3 tonight, the Red Sox and Cubbies have split their first 2 games. I was at Friday night's game, which was a Red Sox blowout, and you also might remember the Red Sox won 15-5. Kevin Youkilis and Jared Saltalamacchia homered, and Adrian Gonzalez drove in 4 runs in the rout. 15 runs was the most the Sox have scored all year, and that was the kind of offensive display we all thought we'd see this season. Now, last night's game, a little bit of a different story, or at least the 8th inning. That's when the Red Sox turned into the Bad News Bears, making 3 errors and giving up 8 runs. Matt Albers threw 31 pitches and did not get one guy out. Ouch. The Cubs batted around and broke the Red Sox 7-game winning streak. Let's hope the Red Sox got all their bad baseball out of their system that one inning last night. Tonight, Tim Wakefield gets the call on national TV against the Cubs. The Red Sox killer Matt Garza gets scratched, and James Russell will be the first on the mound for the Cubs. This one can end up with both teams scoring in double figures. At least now the Red Sox are right back in the division race with the Yankees and the Rays. That's this week's Red Sox Blog. I'm Sam Perozzi for YBA Sports, and we'll see you next time.
Lots of runs tonight for sure. Now let's toss it over to the back talk set. Josh?
Thanks, Logan. Once again, I'm here with Jimmy Myers, Alex, and Harrison. So, let's talk about the Red Sox and those weird uniforms that they had. But might I say, I actually thought they were not as bad as they seemed. Everyone's been talking about how bad they are. Yes, they're bland, but hey, they are nostalgic to a lot of people. So, but anyway, to the game. What a weird game, huh? 3-1. I remember coming back home seeing it was 3-1. You have Alfredo Aceves, I think you say. Against Carlos Zambrano, and I thought well, maybe I felt like from the start maybe the Cubs had a bit of an upper hand, but the Red Sox looked pretty good. But what happened in the 8th? I mean, 8 runs. I mean, what?
I'm still stuck on those uniforms. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Babe Ruth actually wore that. He had to be great. Oh my gosh, those uniforms. Oh man, I've seen orange sickles that look better than that. Popsicles that look better than that. Anyway,
well.
It's just one of those games that got away from them. They had control of it. You got a 7-game win streak. Everybody should be happy from an 0-6 start, like Logan had just said. From that 0-6 start to where they are right now, no one should be complaining about this team. They should be ecstatic that they've turned it around this fast. I feel it might take them just about another month for them to really get a solid footing back in the AL East, because everybody's playing well in this division. I mean, even Baltimore is playing well. They're at the bottom.
The Yankees have had some problems, though.
But I'm saying well enough.
Okay.
I'm talking about you look at the 5 teams there, and there's only a 6-game spread between all of them.
Yes.
And even though the Yankees haven't played well, they are still tied.
It's been a race. It's been a race.
It's right there. But the whole issue for me, guys, I was looking. Yes, I got lost in the uniforms too, Alex. But it was just a poor play. I mean, you look at that. You look how that inning disintegrated. There's a question for me about the manager. Why did he wait and not make the move to bring in, I believe, Franklin Morales, the new lefty, to pitch to Pena? I didn't get that. I just didn't get it. He winds up walking him. The inning expands, it explodes, and everything went crazy after that.
Well, it was embarrassing. 8 runs in an inning. You have to pull the pitcher. And the Red Sox have to work on their bullpen pitching. I mean, this doesn't cut it. With 8 runs in 1 inning, it doesn't cut it. Yeah, you have the momentum. Yeah, you have the 7-game win streak. Yeah, you came back from the 0-6 start. You need to be at the top of the conference. We swept the Yankees. The Yankees are still in front of us. I mean, we have to be at the top. And the Red Sox, they have to be the best team.
Right.
I got to blame it on the manager. I mean, you see something's wrong, you got to make a decision. You got to take him out. I mean, you can't just sit back and let something like this happen.
Well, to be fair, though, I feel like people always put the criticism on the manager, and I don't know if that's exactly fair. Now, you're talking about, like, after Carlos Pena, right? And how many runs did they score at that point? Not obviously the 8 runs. The inning expanded after 4.
4 more after that.
Now, granted, yes.
No, 5. I think it was 5 after that.
5.
They tied it. He tied it, and then he went ahead. Yeah.
Francona, what managers, I think, managers usually can't see into the future, though, that the inning is going to expand and continue and continue. Now, yes, I agree. He should have taken him out after the Pena walk. But I also feel like people way too often say it's all on the manager. He wasn't out there pitching.
Josh, it's all on him because he makes those decisions. Remember, he has to think ahead. He has to think 2 batters. He's got to think 2, 3 batters ahead. He's got to be saying, look, okay, lefty. You just picked up this guy.
Franklin Morales.
Right. Why, if I'm going to lose him, let me lose him on a lefty-lefty matchup. This guy doesn't hit lefties well at all. So I'm going to say, look, I'm not going to walk Pena to keep to load the bases, put us in a bad situation, no outs, where they can get runs. Now, the errors tore the inning up. Okay, the drop pop fly by Lowry, and then the horrible throw from Veritek. That threw it all out of kilter. But I'm sure there were people that walked out of that ballpark last night that said, why didn't you got 2 lefties in the bullpen. Why didn't you go to one of those guys? Why didn't you go lefty to lefty and say, look, let's play the percentages. If we don't get out of it, we can live with that because we did technically what we're supposed to do. Now, I'll give you credit. Francona knows his personnel better than I do. Okay, even if I went with that, the percentages still don't tell me that he played that inning well. He had a 3-1 lead going in. He stayed with a 7. He stayed too long. It's too long. Once you get that second batter on and there are no outs, you got runners at first, you got to be saying, time out. We got to stop this bleeding right now. We might even go, we wouldn't have gone to Papelbon because you're not going to use him for more than 4 outs anyway. But there's got to be, Bart, there's got to be somebody there. See, remember like I told you, we talked about this earlier in the year. My biggest concern is what Alex said. How does this team manage those last 6 outs? How are they going to manage those last 6 outs? When you get to the 8th and the 9th, you got to close it. You have to close it.
Do you think it's possible that, because people have talked about the bullpen issues throughout the year and even into last year, do you think perhaps the manager has something to do with the bullpen issues, not handling the bullpen extremely well?
He makes the decisions. Of course he does.
He gets paid to make decisions like this.
I understand that, but
you say he can't
I'm saying that when the bullpen does struggle and gives up leads like they did last night, is it all on Francona? He's not the one pitching out there. He put Alberts out there expecting him to get those 3 outs to go to Papelbon. Now, granted, he did struggle, and yes, I would have taken him out and get to Franklin Morales because of the lefties you were mentioning. However, it's not like it's
Bard, anybody. I'm just saying, I wouldn't have let, if Bard's not available, I would not have let him go that long.
Okay.
Once we get the tying runs on, that's on 1st and 2nd, no outs. I've got to consider if they bunt, they put them in 2nd and 3rd. Now we got to walk. It's 1 out, and so I'm saying, no, I got to stop this right now. We only need 6 outs to get there. 6 outs, and and in fact, we only need to get out of this inning. We're coming up in the bottom of the 8th.
Yep.
Worst we could have is a tie if those 2 guys score.
And then we have Papelbon coming up.
And then we could have Papelbon come. No, he would. If it was tied, he wouldn't come in unless you really needed the game. But I'm just saying. You say it's not the manager. Harrison is right. It is him. This is what you get paid for. You get paid to make these decisions. The executive decisions of the ball club are made by the manager. You're not the manager, but the manager. Alex is the manager. That's it. It falls on him.
Okay.
Players aren't going to get blamed. It's as simple as that.
So you think he should always take the blame for him? Just say, you know what, it was my fault completely?
No.
For those 8 runs?
I mean, not completely. He doesn't get paid to tell whether a player is going to be bad in that particular inning.
Right.
But once you see that during that inning, he's kind of falling apart. He's not playing as well as he should.
Got it.
That's when the blame goes on him.
Okay. And do you have the guts to make that decision quick enough to say, this isn't working, we got to go to this. Plan B is not working, we got to go to plan C. We got to keep jumping down the alphabet until we get to Z if we really want the game bad enough. And like he said, this is a situation where they have to try to make ground now because as well, Alex, you had a great point. As well as they played, they're still behind the Yankees in Tampa.
Is that, I thought that.
They're tight, they're all tight, but I'm just saying, they're technically behind in the loss, in the win-loss, in the loss column.
Yes.
Once you lose games, you can't get them back.
Right.
So basically, and
Can't
it's
just
still,
steal.
it's still a situation where they're going to go, this division is going to go up and down. This is the
All
toughest
year.
division in baseball. You can't give games away. You're going to need every one of these games. This division could be decided like last year by 1 or 2 games. And with the improvement of Baltimore and Toronto, with what Batista's doing, man, no. You don't want to play around. And remember this, after tonight, I'm pretty sure, aren't the Red Sox going to play the hottest team in the American League in Cleveland starting tomorrow? A place they don't play well? You can't give away games.
All right, well, this is great stuff. Let's send it back to Logan. Logan?
Thanks, Josh. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, we turn back the clock to yesterday when Max Block hosted a segment. Don't go away.